In 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Now I got the camera in an advantageous position. But now I'm trying to see if the audio is recording, making sure, if you didn't know. Like I said, this is the Constitutionals podcast, episode 171, official. I put out the Kyle Kinane interview, so if you're subscribed to this news feed, or podcast feed, RSS feed, then you've definitely seen the interview. It was supposed to be a portfolio. I was making a portfolio. They didn't task me with making a portfolio, but I just didn't have the time. So here we are, 171. What are the topics for today? Well, here's the thing. We're in a slow period of news. And couple that with the pandemic, it's just not, it's not really working out for news type deals. So last week, episode 170 was what I called the report card. I figure that'll be some type of mini series within the Constitutionals. And maybe it'll be used at times when there's not any news. So last week I did the report card for late night shows for the summer of 2020. And now I figure I'll do the report card for streaming services, streaming television services, not music, because it's all the same. Only the names have changed. Every day it seems, I don't know about you, but I'm wasting away. Another place? Drive all night just to get back home. I'm a cowboy. On a steel horse I ride. It's more aluminum. I'm wanted, dead or alive. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get on with this. I just listened to, today's Friday, the day this episode goes up is Friday. Today's Friday. Drake released a song called Laugh Now, Cry Later. Just watched the video. Very funny. So many, as the New York Times, music editor John Caramonica put it, a lot of gifable moments there. Drake's crying a lot in the video, and he did this on purpose. It's very funny. Like it's so funny. Like he's crying on camera. He gets tackled by Marshawn Lynch. He's playing basketball with Kevin Durant. Throwing passes with Odell Beckham Jr. My thing is, aren't we in the middle of a pandemic? And when did this get shot? I gotta know. I gotta turn myself up in the monitors because I can't exactly hear myself. And when you make one of these shows, a podcast, you want to hear yourself. See if you're yelling or anything. I know I'm yelling because I'm in a car. Also listen to rapper Young Dolph's latest album. I love Young Dolph. He's one of my favorite rappers. Definitely right now. And, it just keeps going. He's one of the rappers are funny. Rappers are so funny. And I'm not to take away from any rappers right now, any rappers that listen to this show. God, I know it's a lot of you. I know it's mostly the fan base. Rappers are inherently funny because some of the things they say are very much insane. Not even some, like a lot. Future is definitely one of the funny ones. I know the whole thing is like they gotta seem like tough machismo guys, but it's very funny. I can't repeat any of the lyrics because this is a clean show. But here we go. So listen, the report card, I want to get back to that. Report card's very important. Just to see where things are at, where the services are at, where the companies, where the shows, wherever the thing is I'm covering is at. And I can only say that I'm only doing this for late night and for streaming services because late night I very much love and enjoy, but there's like so many shows out there and some of them vary in quality and episode to episode and all that stuff. And the streaming services, same thing, same deal there. And I will let you know, it is about to rain The clouds have been rolling in throughout the day. I am excited for it to rain. I leave today at like 3:45, 4 o'clock. So I hope it rains at 4:20 when I get back home. So I can carry in my groceries, because I do go grocery shopping before work on Fridays. It just saves me so much time on the weekends. So I can run in the morning and then, veg out for the rest of the day. So I'm hopped up on kombucha. I got my iPad in front of me with all of my streaming services, 2 full pages of streaming services. Let's hop into this. I could have recorded this at home. By the way, the people that were living above me moved out several months ago, so I could do things in my home office. But now, people have moved in on Wednesday. No, not Wednesday. Today's Friday. On Wednesday at 7 p.m. they were moving in. On Wednesday at 9 p.m. they were still moving in. On Wednesday at 10 p.m. when I was in bed, very much still moving in. Guys, I understand everybody's schedules are different, but let's move in during the business hours, 8 to 5. I'm such an old curmudgeon for such a young, handsome boy. So let's start with the obvious one, Netflix. So Netflix has changed pretty much. I mean, since its incarnation. We're gonna start at the beginning. But within the past, let's just go with a couple of months. Netflix has been, even though we are in the middle of a pandemic, it's not loading up. All right. Even though we're in the middle of this is a gorgeous splash screen for Legend of Korra. Oh my gosh. Watch the video. Even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, Netflix has obviously not been longing for shows and movies. And I don't think that there's going to be, this stuff was going to come out regardless of of a pandemic or not. But I don't think that even 8 months to a year from now, I don't think they're going to see a hit in terms of shows and movies being put out. I think there's still going to be the same weekly schedule with all this stuff, stand up and some comedy stuff on Tuesdays, Wednesday also, because they put things come out basically every single day, Monday through Friday, and then Fridays when the headliner things come out. These pants have a brown spot on them. I'm just now noticing it. I'm wondering, it's on my knee. I wonder if that's food or if I fell in the dirt. Who cares? So, Wizards, let's just talk about some things that have just come out. So Netflix has, a lot of good A-list stuff, but then everything kind of deteriorates from that point on. I'm going to preface everything I say today with this. I think Netflix I've said this like at least 10 times. Netflix is in a great position right now globally to stop acquiring things. Once they get rid of The Office, once Parks and Rec can leave the service, once, Friends is gone, obviously, once Seinfeld, once that contract is up, I think that Netflix should just look into making its own things and acquisitions. They should not license things. That's what I'm saying. They can license things out. BoJack Horseman airs on Comedy Central. I don't know if it's still going. I don't know if that's still happening. The DreamWorks shows, the kids shows, they air on DreamWorks' Universal Kids, I believe, or DreamWorks' Universal Kids. It's two different companies. I think, yeah, because Legends of Berk, and the rest of those dragon shows, even though they were on Cartoon Network or they're on Netflix, they now air on Universal Kids. But Netflix has, again, when they have really good things, they have really good things. One of the main problems is Netflix has the drop model of put everything out at once, and I don't think that, while it helps things like Tiger King in some cases, it's not really helping every other show that comes out. Shows like Tales of Arcadia, Wizards, that show, and some of these shows get a lot of help, where others, they get canceled after 3 seasons because that's how the contracts work for Netflix, or they get shortened seasons. Tales of Arcadia, the third series out of that trilogy, Wizards, only got 10 episodes this season. And one of the executive producers, Mark Guggenheim, who also does a lot of DC stuff, I think, DC TV shows. I read an interview with him where he talked about how tough it was to shrink down, 20 episodes worth of stuff into 10 episodes. And you can really see that in the show. And I'm watching basically one episode a day because there's only 10 episodes. Whereas Troll Hunters, that was, I think let me see. I'm looking at it right now. Part 1 was 26 episodes. Parts 2 and 3 were 13 each. So that's 52 episodes. They had time there, but then even the sequel series, 3 Below, that had 16 episodes. But then this season gets 10 episodes. And I just find it strange that Netflix does that to some of its properties sometimes. But then you have shows that they do in conjunction with other networks, like The Last Dance, which was done in conjunction with ESPN. So we have that Michael Jordan documentary. Nailed It, which has got Nicole Byer an Emmy nomination. Boss Baby, Back in Business. Movies with, big names like Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This Project Power came out today. And then just great shows like Never Have I Ever, Hollywood, The Politician. I mean, and then obviously the international stuff, that they acquire and for distribution. But then they have these, these super queue list things that, wouldn't exist anywhere else, like Teenage Bounty Hunters or, just shows and movies that Coffee and Kareem, I think that's a movie, with Ed Helms, a series called Unwell. That's, I guess, I don't know what it is. And while it's good to have those things, I just think that, money is going into the wrong direction a lot of the times for Netflix. But God, it's hot as all get out in here. But, all in all, I think Netflix is doing a tip-top job, and no one has to tell you that. Netflix is truly doing well. But there are just little things that really, I think they should. I think they're running. I think they're in debt right now, as they always will be, probably. But just instead of acquiring instead of acquiring 100 things, just acquire 80 things, and the rest of that money that you spent, and just acquiring a show. Hey, maybe it costs $100 to make a show, but it only costs you $30 to acquire another one. Let's stop acquiring all those little tiny $30 shows and movies, and put that money allocated towards the bigger thing that you want to make. Because a lot of these things shouldn't exist in the first place. It's like sometimes I'll open Tubi or Crackle, the free apps, and I'll see and I'll see like a movie, and this is gonna sound like I'm attacking my own race, but I'll see like a movie called The Brothers of Detroit, and it'll be like a rom-com, and it'll just be like an all-black cast, and or I'll see Sandy in Squaresville, and it'll be like a poorly animated cartoon film that's 64 minutes long, and it just beat that cutoff for a theatrical movie. And I'll wonder, A, is this SAG? And B, I hope not. And I'll think, and then those will live on Amazon Prime or Netflix or Hulu or something. And I just think, why stop spending money on this stuff? Because that gets you 7 views compared to something else that's going to get you 100 views. And I love using 100 as my barometer, but I think Netflix is in a good place right now. I do think the remakes are a very strange thing. Like the things that they're proposing to make, like The Legend of Korra, the Avatar live action thing. The creators left the project with Netflix because it was creative differences, but that doesn't bode well. Same thing for like the Full Metal Alchemist live action stuff. I just think Netflix needs to have while I can see that they're trying to have a diverse group of movies and shows, I think it's important to, if you're gonna do these things, have actual fans of television in there. Fans of television, fans of movies, like working. And I don't mean like, hire somebody like me who's like, I really like Tales of Arcadia. Get me in there to help with the movie. No, I mean like somebody, like people who, like Guillermo del Toro. He does Tales of Arcadia. He is a fan of movies and TV shows, and he knows how to do this stuff right. So I think, just hire people like that. But Netflix, good job. Moving on to Hulu. I was watching Futurama last night in bed. So there we go. Hulu's done really well for itself. It has a new splash screen. Speaking of splash screens, it's got it's moved everything to all TV shows, movies, and hubs, and they only have and the hubs are the networks, but also FX on Hulu and Hulu Originals. I could only assume that they're going to have more, stylized hubs like the FX one and the Hulu Originals one. But for now, I think they're doing a really good job. Their screen is, what they offer is just truly amazing. Years ago, when people were only talking about Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, it's like, I always thought, cause I'm a huge Hulu fan, cause I've had Hulu since it was free, like since the day it came out when it was free. I always thought it was such a great service, but there's a lot of great movies and shows on here. A lot of it does live on other services, like Netflix, like Amazon, and you'll find the mix and match stuff. But I think there's a lot of stuff. Hulu offers a lot. And obviously, I have problems with Disney, but obviously, I do like a lot of Disney stuff, and because you're forced to, because they own half the world. But I think Hulu's one of their better offerings. They, shows like Love, Victor. Movies like Palm Springs, the things that they make for the service are, they're good. I think the problem is, and it doesn't have to be throwing paint at the wall and seeing what sticks, like Netflix does it. But for Hulu, I think with the stuff that they do have, give it a chance, give it more. Then a lot of the stuff they have is like, they'll give it one season. Whereas, again, Netflix will give, pretty much every show gets 3 seasons. And because that's how the contracts work. They sign you up for 3 seasons. And then if your show is good enough, then it can go past 3 seasons. And then if not, then, it doesn't go past 3 seasons. Like, Stranger Things is, I think, 5 seasons. But, what was 3? One Day at a Time before it was canceled and then shipped off to Pop TV. But I do think, the FX on Hulu stuff, that is just amazing, because finding stuff to stream, particularly for Netflix, finding FX stuff to stream was just so tough. Sunny was on Netflix and Hulu, but then shows like Better Things weren't on Hulu for the longest amount of time. Archer was on Netflix and Hulu, but then Fargo you couldn't stream for the longest amount of time. American Horror Story was on Netflix and I believe Amazon Prime. Don't quote me on that. Justified was on Amazon Prime. It's Snowfall you couldn't even stream. But now that they have these a more cohesive thought process, it's really great. Or business process. It's really great. One of the things I'm afraid of, for Hulu, now that it's owned, completely by Disney, is that, with Peacock, here and HBO Max here, I'm always concerned that, the Hulu is going to become, Disney Plus, but for adults. It's only going to have Disney things. And I'm always concerned that, Fox will take off, Fox Broadcasting proper will take off, its shows from Hulu, and NBC will take off its shows from Hulu. But I think Hulu's just the better option to watch the stuff. And Fox would take its shows off of Hulu and put it on Tubi, because it now owns Tubi, because that's what it does now. It airs the Masked Singer the next day on Tubi, and just Hulu's just a better all around app and company. I would say Hulu has more A-list stuff to offer, more A-list movie stuff, recognizable. So you've got Mission Impossible. You've got movies like Booksmart, Fallout. Mission Impossible Fallout is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen it so many times. I own the Blu-ray. It's so good. Then you've got movies like Transformers, Dark of the Moon, and Spy Who Dumped Me. But then you have shows like Catfish. You have Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. You've got America's Got Talent, Speechless, King of the Hill. It's just I think Hulu is just so good. It's so good at what it does. Then it has they I don't know what's happening with The Weekly, which was the companion series to The Daily for the New York Times. But I assume I think it got canceled. They did like 30 some odd episodes, sporadically throughout the year, and it got canceled. And now they're doing a monthly show with New York Times called The New York Times Presents. And I have not seen it. It's in my queue, but it's monthly, which means, why watch it? Jesus Christ in a hat. It's hot in here. I gotta open this door. All right. But yeah, I think it's no secret that Hulu is my favorite. Bought by Disney, so that kind of sucks. But whatever. Moving on, Amazon Prime. I think Prime is, I've said this to people before, it has the worst app out of all of the major streaming services. It did not even open on my iPad. It just crashed. And I don't like the app. I don't like it on mobile. I don't like it on my computer, and I don't like it on my consoles. It's just very haphazard and tough to navigate. And obviously, yeah, it's just rows of stuff, but they mix in stuff that you can buy with stuff that and that you can watch for free. Your watch list is finally combined. They used to separate movies and shows. But I don't know. It's Amazon's the one I least go to. Like if I go to Hulu every day and Netflix every other day, I go to Amazon once a month, and I still pay for it for some reason. There's a lot of focus on the channels that you can get, as in your added subscription, like the HBO channel, the Starz channel, the PBS channel, the CBS All Access channel. But I would rather, and while I like the prospect of having, an all-in-one encompassing app to watch the stuff, it's just better to go to the app. I don't want everything mixing, and that's where it gets to be too jumbled. But Amazon Prime Video, I think is what they call it, because they did rename Amazon Prime Twitch Prime or something like that to just Prime Gaming, I think, earlier this week. So I think that's way better. But then they do really cool things, like they'll, like this Les Mis show from PBS. They'll give you access to shows for a month where you usually have to pay for it from the streaming thing, the other streaming channel. They have some HBO stuff. They have movies like Knives Out, The Farewell, and then also their original stuff. Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, or Prime Video, all have some really good originals, and the acquisitions coming from all three, rather, are good. And, I like the stuff that's on here. I like Counterpart from Starz. I like, Hotel Artemis, but the app is just so tough to deal with. But Prime is, it's good. It just they need to, with Prime and Hulu, there are two things. There's one big issue that comes from both of them, and they both acquire what I would call online video. So they'll have videos from, Vogue or Architectural Digest, and it'll be like 7-minute videos, and they're treated as, shows within the apps. And I don't like being tricked, so take that crap off of there. If I can get it on YouTube, it does not deserve to be in a premium video streaming app. Moving on, Disney Plus. They had Hamilton come out. I think they stopped free trials. I don't think... What is Magic Camp? And why are Adam Devine and Julian Jacobs in this movie? Jesus. They're slowly migrating all of the, family-friendly Disney stuff over to Disney Plus. Again, I only pay $7 a month just to watch The Simpsons. I don't like Star Wars. I don't like Marvel movies very much. But I have been watching some Muppets because I love the Muppets. It's very true. There's just not enough forward progression. While you can dig into nostalgia, there's not enough forward progression. Whereas, for Prime and Hulu and for Netflix, while they do cost more, and yes, cost is a thing, Disney Plus just doesn't have the momentum going for it. Yeah, I mean, you have Hamilton, you have Black is King from Beyonce, but beyond that, what am I going to Disney Plus for, besides The Simpsons? Definitely not, Ultimate Spider-Man, the show. That show's not good. I don't like it. Everything past Spectacular Spider-Man sucks. Let's go to HBO Max. Now, this is an app that I open up a lot more frequently than I thought I would. And it's not because of the HBO stuff. And it's not because of what is because of the originals. I think... So I'm going to get hold on. Let me get this. HBO Max, when it came out, obviously was going to be the premium HBO product. But going forward, I think HBO Max has done a lot. Warner Media has done a lot of good stuff with HBO Max. They teamed up with Comedy Central Productions, so that shows that are on the original shows are on Comedy Central will appear on HBO Max. So Aquafina is Nora from Queens is rather than streaming on CBS All Access or Hulu, it's on HBO Max. The other two in Southside both have moved from Comedy Central to HBO Max, and quite frankly, HBO Max will be a better place than Comedy Central for both of those shows. So yeah, I mean, it's great. And then you get the HBO stuff on top of it. You get anime from Crunchyroll. You get the Turner Classic Movies, some Cartoon Network stuff, some Adult Swim stuff, Studio Ghibli, Looney Tunes. It's truly, it's great. It's great. And the one thing, though, I do want to mention is DC Universe. This week, DC just fired a whole bunch of people in the comics, the television department, all that stuff. And what I think is going to happen, and what I think, probably should happen, once HBO Max landed, DC Universe, the app where they had original shows and all those comics and stuff, it was dead on arrival. Like, it's like HBO Max became priority number one for AT&T and Warner Media once it landed. And it's interesting to see it slowly die because Harley Quinn. So Doom Patrol was moved over to HBO Max. Well, it was aired in conjunction with airing on DC Universe on HBO Max. Stargirl aired on the CW like 2 days after it aired on DC Universe, and now it's only on the CW now. And I only assume that Stargirl's streaming rights will go straight to HBO Max. I do think that the DC Universe show, Harley Quinn, the cartoon show, that is now on HBO Max. I do think that all of the DC stuff will eventually move to HBO Max. Makes sense. Fine. Who cares? Just do it faster than it should. Like, DC Universe, people want to watch Titans, or, they want to, like, why would we pay $8 a month to watch like a handful of shows? Like, Swamp Thing. Bring Swamp Thing over to HBO Max. I'm sure there's money to bring that show back for another season. But why would they pay money for $8 a month to watch to watch shows on an app that you can also read comic books on or get a daily news show on. Like, I don't think people like comics that much. Showtime. Moving on, Showtime Anytime. Regular Showtime with a subscription. I mean, it's fine. Same thing for Starz. You get the Showtime stuff, you get Starz stuff. No biggie. But they don't really give you stuff to offer. But for Showtime, they do have a companion app in CBS All Access, which is, I can only assume, going to be called Viacom All Access. Keep it at CBS All Access. I think that's fine. CBS All Access I think it's a good app. They just released, much like Hulu's Hubs, they just released like channel hubs for their Viacom brands, like Comedy Central, BET, MTV, Nickelodeon, and Smithsonian Channel, and CBS. So now everything kind of, like, a lot of the stuff that would be on a Viacom-owned app are now on here. But then also they'll allow, The Good Wife is also on. It was on Hulu, but now it's on Amazon Prime. But also on CBS All Access. SpongeBob is on Amazon Prime and CBS All Access. Frasier is on all the streaming services, even the free ones, I think. So there you go. There's a guy walking, and I hope he does not hear me, because it is embarrassing to, one, be recording a podcast, period, but two, also record it in your car. Their CBS All Access it's the only one that has, I believe, the Premier League soccer, so that's a good get for it. And also, like Peacock, which is coming up next, it's cheap. You got $5 for an ad-supported version or $10 for an ad-free version. But where Peacock beats it is that Peacock does have free things. But also with CBS, where CBS All Access beats Peacock is that the app is better, and but there's still no wish list, and I wish there was a wish list. But also you can sign in if you have a cable provider or something. You can sign in to your CBS account. You can sign in using your account for your cable provider, and you can watch CBS on here for free. So it's cool. I don't know if it's the All Access stuff, but I know you can watch CBS stuff. Having CBS All Access makes me want to watch shows like Big Brother. I did start The Amazing Race, but that's on Hulu. And I do want to check out Survivor. Shows I never would check out live, truly. But they have all 40 seasons of for Survivor, so why not? Why not check out, one of them? So CBS All Access, I think it's a good app, and it's stable, But moving on to Peacock. Again, we've covered Peacock extensively. Peacock has a free tier, paid tiers, and then a lot of its stuff is shared with other streaming networks. And then also it has the 24-hour channels that you can, like Pluto TV. So Peacock is trying to be all of the streaming services at once. I think it's doing a fine job. The problem is, I think it should only have 2 tiers. One should be free, and then bump up that $5 tier to $8 and let it be free with ads, and then $8 with everything. I do believe, because like a lot of the Law and Order stuff is streaming for the first time, and nobody wants to pay $5 or $10 to watch Law and Order stuff when they could just turn on USA and watch it. I can only assume USA airs it for 12 hours a day. There's a focus on Latino shows and things. I think they bought Curious George, so now it's a Peacock original. The Curious George show that was on PBS. But I said this in the Peacock episode. There's the stuff that's on the premium side is stuff you can get elsewhere. So I don't understand why you can't watch it free with ads. I think everything should be free with ads. And then the $8. I think it's better. Brave New World, they give you a couple episodes for free, but after that you're left to paying. Same thing for and so the originals for Peacock, they're hard to find. There's no originals section, so you have to just find it. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, there's no, because this is stuff on my watch list. Yeah, so the Peacock original stuff is labeled start for free, and also it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 things below when it should be right under my continue watching and my watch list, instead of being under, Peacock's picks that has 30 Rock, Psych, and Downton Abbey, and feature films and just added. Like, that's insane. Peacock, it's not proving its place yet, but it's free. So that's the thing. It's free. And I like free. I'm not going to, I don't plan on paying. When AP Bio comes out, I'll pay for it. But otherwise, I'm not being drawn into Brave New World. I've read that book so many times. I really like the book. And I saw the first episode. I would love to continue watching the show, but it just, for the first time in a streaming app, I'm just thinking, yeah, I don't want to pay for it. Also, I don't want to watch Psych. Who watches Psych? And then Apple TV. I think this is the app that's started it all. And I said earlier about when I was talking about Amazon, when I was talking about Prime Video, that I like an app. I don't like an app that holds everything. Like, no, I do want an app that does have all the streaming services in one. But Amazon does it in such a way that it's cumbersome. Apple TV Plus just drags everything in that you're already signed into and subscribed to, and it'll show you what you need to watch next. It's not scrolling down. What you need to watch next. So I'm going to watch this episode of Late Night with Seth Meyers, and then also Futurama. But then it has Central Park, and then The Simpsons from Disney Plus, and an HBO Max. Rebel Without a Cause, because it was referenced on La La Land. So I wanted to feel what Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling felt when they're about to hold hands for the first time. Remember that scene in La La Land when they're about to hold hands and they're just like, oh, and they're playing like handsy like that, and then and then the lights came on, and then they're like, and they're about to kiss, and then Ryan Gosling's like. There's a point in La La Land right before, like in that exact scene, where Emma Stone runs down the aisle to this movie theater, and Ryan Gosling's still in the movie theater because he's waiting on a date for her, and she runs in front of the screen, and she starts looking around, and no one says "get down" from in front of the screen. No one says "move." I would be like, "Hey, lady, move." Apple TV Plus is. So if you don't have an Apple TV or a Roku, or I believe a Fire TV as well, you can't watch Apple TV Plus. You have to watch it on your MacBook or your iPad or your phone. And, obviously I can hook up this iPad to the television, but it's just not the same. I do think it has a lot of great shows and movies. I would love to watch Greyhound, but I'm not going to watch it on my freaking, iPad. I'm not going to watch it on my computer browser. Shows like The Morning Show and Central Park, I do think they're worth I hate saying worth. I do think they are good for the price of the admission of $5 a month. And then there was Bloomberg reported that Apple was going to might have a subscription bundle where they bundle like music and Apple TV Plus for a low price. I mean, that's a good idea, but whatever. But Apple TV Plus is very difficult to get a grasp of because, again, it's another app that is just poorly laid out. And if you want to see just the Apple TV stuff, you click on Apple TV Plus's badge, and I can see shows like Ted Lasso, movies like Tom Hanks's Greyhound, the show C with Jason Momoa, all the Oprah crap they have on here. But otherwise, it's all tough to get into and all that stuff. Everything looks good, so that's good. But Apple TV Plus, very, very cumbersome, just like Amazon. I'm not going to rank these services. I do like them all. They all have their pluses and minuses. But let me blast through the free ones just for a second. Pluto TV. Pluto, free 24-hour streaming of a bunch of themed channels. I think is great. If I just want to leave the TV on for some reason or another, and I don't want to deal with anything else, I'll have it on that. Too many ads for my liking. The apps are poorly built. I'll tell you that much. Oh, there's a new splash screen. That's pretty cool. But I do think, oh my God. I'm sorry. That you probably heard the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles channel. And there's a lot to offer, a lot of crap, but a lot to offer. The on-demand sections are very tough. Oh, here's the theme song. Here it comes. Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right, we're at the pay. A lot of stuff that you can get. Oh my God, that is a big freaking bug that just flew on the window. Whew. It's outside though. Get out of here. So, Pluto. The app is bad, but what it offers is fine. Crackle probably has the worst app out of all of them. It's so tough to even get into. Like it doesn't even work half the time. The movies and shows it offers aren't really good, but they do have shows like The Tick. But then they also have shows like Brothers. I think that the sitcom with Michael Strahan, and is that Colton Dunn? Looks like. Maybe. And then they have, movies like, they'll have a good movie like Black Dynamite, a movie I own on DVD, but then they'll have a movie like Sniper Ghost Shooter. It's, but it's free, ad supported, so whatever. It's, you can make a watch later playlist, which is what I can say, which is more than I can say for CBS All Access, the app. Also, CBS owns Pluto. Where are we? And then there's Tubi. Tubi, man, caught me off guard. There's all of the Transformers cartoons are on there. Really cool. I think MXC, Most Extreme Challenge from Spike TV is on there. Yes, it is. It does have all of the Digimon Adventure Tri series. If you want to watch that, it's also at the library as well. It has, some of the Muppets movies, which I hope will make their way over to Disney Plus, because I don't want to watch them with ads. But, again, just a lot of grab bag stuff. So, I mean, each app has something going for it. And I do think that we have a dearth of stuff to watch on television. And then there's also, YouTube TV, Hulu with live TV, all that, the live TV stuff. And I do think that the best way to watch things is if you're going to have a streaming service, I would definitely, have the top ones in there, Netflix, Hulu, and then like Netflix and Hulu are like musts. If you only want two streaming services, if you only want two subscriptions, I think Netflix and Hulu are obviously the best choices. But then if you can afford them all, I'd say get them all, because there's a lot to offer. If you fancy yourself a fan of television and movies, each one has something to offer, a really good and engrossing show. Even if you get it for a month, you'll find some good things on HBO Max and Disney Plus and Showtime Anytime and Starz. You'll find something. I would take advantage of the free offerings that Peacock has. I would not drink coffee like from Starbucks or whatever, or my local coffee shop for a month just to have 3 months of Disney Plus. I think each one of these apps is worth looking into and owning. So there you go. If you have to do without any of them, it'd probably be Peacock, CBS All Access, Starz, and Showtime Anytime. But Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, Disney Plus, and HBO Max, I do think that those are the top contenders for, and I didn't want to list anything, but I do think those are the top contenders for anything. Listen, I gotta get back to work. So, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see interviews with your favorite comedians. If you want to see a video version of this show, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can see me sitting in my car sweating up a storm. If you want to see our premiere news show, that's also on youtube.com/C Plus Comedy. It's called News Time. This week, happy birthday, C Plus Comedy. C Plus Comedy is 7 years old 2 days ago. So happy birthday, C Plus Comedy. I did a special episode of News Time to cover it. So hopefully we actually make some money this year. We'll see. I don't do this for money. I do it for the portfolio and the experience, baby. So, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. You're the best. Good night.